associate game director now.
Yep.
Talking with Athelis about the RWIF. Topics including the race length, tuning, itemization, season 4 splits, grim rail, accessibility, and more.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to rocket through this because,
go for it.
yes. Right. Length of the RWIF. Blizzard was surprised that the guild started with splits. They think that since many splits happened during Mythic Week rather than Heroic Week, that contributed why the tier was so long. They also have new tech to auto-tune content based on difficulty. That means they can tune all the content at the same time.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they basically just have more tools for that stuff.
That's good.
Okay, Jailer. Right, what was intended, what was not intended in regards to the heal? Well, the whole Venthyr shit, not intended.
Yeah.
Mortal Strike effect, intended.
Yeah, that's the thing where it's just
Means that canonically,
yeah.
the only like super pure legit kill.
Yeah.
I'm sure people have killed it properly since.
Maybe.
It's Echo.
Yeah, I think I want to say I'm not completely sure, but at least of the top 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe the only kill that was like 100% like didn't use the mirrors bug was Echo, I think.
Now, in fairness,
Yeah.
Liquid would have got it using Mortal Strike.
Yeah.
In their case, and the other guilds that got it before them because they were traveling home while those other kills happened. It was just that, the best strat is the Venthyr strat.
Well,
But, if it was only the Mortal Strike one, other guilds would have done that too. I'm just saying it's interesting. Like the first kill wasn't even with the most optimal method available at the time.
Yeah, it goes to show just how far ahead they actually were in terms of the damage they're putting out there. Because I'm pretty sure that wasn't even like maybe I'm remembering wrong. I don't remember that being a super super squeaky kill either. I think they maybe could have got a couple more percentage points out. So I was like, damn shit, nice.
Damn. Okay. Tier gear trading. They made a change to tier trading to hopefully reduce the amount of degenerate gameplay that would need to occur for a small group of people, i.e. the race participants. Instead, that just acted as another hoop that they would jump through. Of course, come on. Happens every time.
Yep.
This is a change that they need to talk about more going forward and the impact that it's got on the broader player base. Okay, here's a really simple thing. Fuck the race to world first and everyone involved with it. Don't make the game for them. Make the game for your actual fucking players. It's fine for the race to exist as like a Halo vertical or something, but if you're designing around that and it hurts everyone else, guess what happens? The people involved in the race don't like this shit because they're just normal gamers like us. They're just taking it to that extreme level.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't design it around trying to outplay and outmind game the race. Fuck that. Stop playing cat and mouse with them.
Yeah.
Just make the game for the fucking players,
Yeah,
right? You don't need to do this shit.
Yeah, that's the thing where even like this is like a really fundamental thing to World of Warcraft as well, because obviously like we fired up that Legacy Steel video yesterday. One of the things that I was thinking about is how World of Warcraft was like came off the roots of like EverQuest and Ultima Online players, but like, fuck, this is brutal, dude. People can't enjoy this shit. We can barely enjoy it, and we're the ones who really love it the most. And every step they took was to make it easier on both levels. Because obviously, you look back at vanilla, you think, okay, fucking fire resist from Molten Core, that was a pain in the ass, but it was pretty fun, and it was better than anything they had to put up with in EQ or whatever else. Same with getting the Nixia cloak for Nefari, and you're like, well, that fucking sucks, but at least it's not this. And
when you wipe, you lose XP.
Yeah, it's like at least we don't lose all our gear when we die to a raid boss, and at least raid bosses are instanced instead of not being instanced on the server and having 72-hour spawns. So it's literally a race to kill the boss. That shit, like, oh, what's up? More than 2 guilds want to raid weekly. Sorry, that doesn't work. So like that's a case where like EQ moved into World of Warcraft and massively casualized. And we've gotten to this point where it's like casualize the shit out of this. And you'll just make it more enjoyable. Take small steps. And I don't mean like super casualize it, but yeah.
Here's the thing. If you want a healthy race to world first, appeal to these people and don't design anything around the race to world first. Because the race to world first is a symptom of a popular game where people are interested in the hardest content it's got. Yeah. So you need to do this bit right first, because that's the only way the race exists. It's like if any of these, loot concerns or, things not feeling rewarding, etc. even, if the creation catalyst is pushed back like way too much, not that that's to do with the race, but any of the things that could be done because they care about the first few weeks of the balance of the race, that is, if that hurts the broader player base and their experience, you're actually doing the race participants, sponsors, guilds, orgs a disservice because you're damaging the game for their audience, which means they won't play that game.
Yeah.
You look at League of Legends. League of Legends is like not a big esport because it's 100% designed to be an esport like all the time in every single way. The reason why it's so big as an esport is because it's such a fucking good game that it got a colossally absurd, eye-watering quantity of players, which naturally meant that its competitive stuff would do well. And funny enough, even at that, a lot of their competitive stuff is ran at a loss because they know it's very important for the overall health of the game. Yeah. But like that's the thing. It's like I feel like if this conversation is happening, we failed. Because it should just always be this.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That's mostly that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think that a lot of the Race to World First people would also, be thinking along this line as well, because they're going to know, okay, well, what's going to be best for the race overall? It's going to be a good gaming experience for the vast majority of players.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Obviously, this is one source, but like Scripe has been talking like fucking crazy, especially after playing FF and trying to do that progress. Every time Scripe's been on stream, he's just been like, yeah, this is fucking bullshit. Not in that word, but in the sense of, listen, like, obviously Scripe is the leader of the number one guild in the world. Is like, man, this is bullshit. This doesn't help anyone, doesn't help us, doesn't help our players. It just makes this take longer, and it's more expensive and more frustrating to run. I just constantly talk shit about like basically a lot of that stuff. You're like, well, if they're not happy doing it, then how do you expect other players to be happy if you're even putting a little bit of thought into that, or like putting them first in any capacity?
And here's a bunch of it. What am I hearing here? Max and Scripe both agree.
Yeah.
With basically most of this shit. So this is a position where, I don't know, the fucking normie casual people, us, we think this shit. I think Liquid, probably overall are like, most recently, they didn't get the high rank, but previously they were completely putting out high ranks. So, it's like, the top two guilds in the world, maybe. Yeah. They're agreeing with this. So it's like, seems like most, if not all of the players just kind of agree of like, hey, simplify the shit, make it nice and easy.
Yeah,
done, it works.
Yeah, it's the point of, you want to separate your elements. It's not like, okay, well, how is this raid hard? Well, you want to remove the barriers to entry and then make the raid satisfying and more like enjoyable to actually play. So, like they do communicate with the guilds and stuff, but I don't know what level it is. I don't know if this is like, has there ever been a point where they find, okay, here's, could we grab the like the raid leader, maybe like the healer leader, maybe the tank leader, maybe a DPS leader from like a couple of these guilds, maybe not Aster now because they've disbanded, but from like the top like 10 guilds and go,
that was something.
And just go, all right, can we get you in for just a discussion for like a day or two? Obviously, that's a lot to ask if you're talking about like the game director and associate director coming out of like their work. But okay, let's sit down and go, what about this do you like? What about this do you not like? Because obviously, like a lot of them will give their opinion there, but they'll give it in a very much way where it's, here's all my feedback, if fired into the abyss on stream or in Twitlong or whatever else, and then Blizzard, there's no like back and forth. So the idea of having them in the room and going, listen, what do you like about this? Because you clearly don't like some of it, but you clearly love it enough to put on these things and try to be the best in the world. How can we improve this for you? And then just do that, and hopefully that all trickles down idea-wise. I don't know.
Do you enjoy seething while you're in Korthia?
That's exactly. It's like what part of island expedition farming did you like? Because some of them definitely liked it a little bit. Maybe THD's an outlier, but some people definitely like that kind of farming, prepping for it. But what's the fun part of prep? What's the bad part of prep? What's the fun part of, strategizing? What's the unfun part of strategizing? I feel like that's a thing where Blizzard by themselves are floundering a little bit. So I think they need to sit down and be like, can we get some opinions? Because you're the best in the world. Yeah. In the exact same way that back in the day, World of Warcraft or Blizzard were like Rob Pardo's like, yo, Jeff, come on in. We can figure this shit out together. Same like Tom Chilton came in from, I think he was a big Ultima Online player. And he came in obviously after Sappy as well. You're like, yeah, these people are literally like, they have a specific focus, but you bring them in and go, well, how do we do this shit better? And then maybe do that for like it's hard because you don't get like, this is the best casual World of Warcraft player in the world. That's not something you can kind of do. You have to look a bit broader for that, but that's something you can ultimately do and figure it out.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, I think it's like those very hardcore people. They are testing the limits of your systems.
Yeah.
So, you can really cap off a lot of like the worst things that can happen by engaging with those players. Whereas for the casuals, because they're not playing at that high level of intensity, unless you really create a fucking magical design that kills them, they're not going to be as frustrated.